G'day folks, I'm Rick Hollis. I recently had the pleasure of hanging out with amp guru Dave Friedman at 42 Gear Street and asking him about the tonal inspiration behind his line of amplifiers, getting the lowdown on restoring Eddie Van Halen's original Marshall Super Lead Plexi head, and finding out a little bit about the secret sauce that goes into a Friedman amplifier. Let's check it out. What is it you hear in your head when you're trying to voice an amp? What inspires you as a good sound?
You know, it was always sort of about players that I liked growing up. Yeah. So when I was growing up, you know, most of the Guitar Hero guys, you know, your Eddie Van Halens and your George Lynch's and your Warren D. Martinis and all those guys, King's X, and all those guys had amazing tones and stuff, and you know, real signature tones. So I always liked, you know, Marshalls, vintage Marshalls, you know, Plexis and things like that. So, so it all sort of came from the one amp that I still own, which is the 50-watt Plexi that I have, that I used to run on 10 with a Variac and the whole 9 yards, and that's very much the basis of all these amps, except the ability to play them at all volumes and with different amounts of gain, so varying amounts of heaviness.
Yep.
And that's where it came from.
Yeah.
So that's still the amp for me. Yeah.
Yeah. How cool is it though that all those names that you rattled off, you've worked with most of those people now, huh?
Well, yeah, most all of them.
Yeah, yeah. Do you sometimes pinch yourself and go, "Hey, man,
every once in a while, you kind of go, this is weird."
I bet. Yeah, absolutely.
I saw a photo of Zach Wilde holding Eddie's amp at your workshop.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
A few years ago.
Yeah, a few years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get that? Do you get a bit of chill when you're working on that? You're like, ooh, ooh.
So what I would call restore his amp.
Yeah.
So what that meant was they wanted me to put original. Over the years, it had changed so many times.
Yeah.
And at some point in time, it had been rewired.
Jose?
No.
No.
Later, it had been rewired with like Teflon wire and things like that. And so this time they wanted me to. I had an idea in my head what I wanted to do with it. From everything I've ever read and everything I knew about him, and I had an idea in my head what I wanted to do, but they wanted me to restore it with original Marshall wire. So they actually gave me a donor amp, and I took all the wire out of this original amplifier, another Plexi, original amplifier. I took all the wire out and rewired his original Plexi with the original wire from this other Plexi.
Wow.
And so it would be period correct.
Yeah.
And then I put in all my ideas of what it should have been according to everything I've ever read and all the theories I had.
Yeah.
And how it should be set up and all the theories I had. So I did that, and then so the response I got was, "That's the best it's sounded in the last 20 years." So I died.
You got to be happy with it.
I died and went to heaven now, and now I can't do anything else.
How much of an inspiration is Eddie to the Brown Eye sound?
Oh, totally.
Totally. So the whole Brown Eye Brown is that
yeah? So reference to him, not really to what you think it is.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Cool. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was
your
epic.
Yeah.
Literally at that point, you're like, what else? Where do I go from there?
Your amps sound great at low volume. Like the old Marshall that you said that you base it all on. You got to dime that to get it sounding good,
well, I used to slave them.
Yeah.
So I used to slave them into a reactive load that Bruce Egnater built me.
Yeah.
And, well, various things over the time. So I used to slave the amp and then you had control over the volume. So.
Yeah.
So realistically, I guess these are the highly idealized versions. So it's basically me trying to mimic the sound of that slaved amp with the variac and everything.
Yeah. Cool.
So, but without all that stuff.
Yeah. So how do you get them sounding so good at low volume?
Voice them that way.
Yeah.
Voice them at low volume.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's sort of like mixing a record. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you mix it nice low volumes, very quiet volumes, when you turn it up, it sounds great still. If you mix it really high volumes and you turn it down, it just doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
And the other thing that everyone comments on is how it feels.
Yeah.
So it really sort of feels like the amp's on 10 raging, but it's at this low volume.
Yeah.
And it just has a certain feel under your fingertips that sound amazing.
Yeah. I think if you dig in just right, your amps are good. It's not the kind of amp for guys that play electric guitar like an acoustic guitar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's guys out there and they go to play something and they're like,
Yeah.
Wait, that doesn't sound. No,
What's that? It's
Awful.
weak.
What's wrong? What's wrong? Something broken.
Yeah.
I say it's broken.
it's like, no, you need to really dig on
Yeah,
this. And
yeah.
it reacts.
It's really about the player's hands more than anything.
The
I think a
compression would
great,
be very
amazing,
interesting,
amazing, like a player that plays really heavy music or something comes in and plays the angle, and yes, someone else that's not familiar with that style or maybe comes in and plays the angle, and you're just like, same thing with the Friedman, like same exact thing. It's kind of interesting how they attack the amp, attack the guitar and attack the amp, any amp almost, like the difference. We did a video with we threw Sammy in the ring with Tom Quayle,
Playing through the same amp.
same amp, same exact
input.
amp,
Same
input,
switch.
and there was a distinct difference
Totally different sound.
between both of the players and how they attack that amplifier.
Yeah.
And personally, I think Sammy won.
I mean, I just want to play chords on your amps. It's like fairy dust on top. I don't know if people's ears are tuned in to listen for that kind of thing, but it really struck me, those harmonics. It is, isn't it? There's just the sprinkle on top, isn't there? That just the air, the way it reacts.
Around the notes.
And solid state amps, as a whole, they're getting closer. Just don't do it. They just don't do it.
Well, they also don't react the same way.
Yeah.
It's just, you dig in, it's the same.
Yeah.
You back off, it's the same. You roll the volume down, it's the same.
They're getting closer.
really-
Fuck the modelers. Fuck the modelers.
Secondly,
Now that's very tight.
Yes.
Very tight. Yeah, usually when I go for the that kind of caves in on some amps, but that's nice and strong. And that's the thing with your amps. So you use custom transformers, right? Is that
Custom designed transformers for us. Yeah.
Is that what's keeping it tight in the low end there?
No.
No. It's the Friedman
It's,
special sauce.
Exactly. Yeah. No, actually, generally speaking, we don't put very much low end in our preamp section.
Okay.
And I find by doing that, it one will sound much better at lower volumes.
Yep.
Also keeps it very tight.
Yep.
We generally use a bit of a resonance circuit in the power section, so that kind of brings back the fullness of the low end there.
Sure. Okay.
So that's sort of what we do on.
Okay. Almost
On all
like,
the
say,
amps.
three a treble booster into an old school amp. How
Sort
that
of,
tightens-
yes.
Yeah, how that tightens
Sort of,
in.
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I only clued onto that a few years ago, using a treble booster in front of.
Ah, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah. Oh, listen to that. Dave, thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.